What's up? This is my review of the May 13th, 2022 edition of AEW Rampage. So we begin the show with a six-man tag team match between Death Triangle, so that's Pac, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fenix versus AFO, composed of just three of its members, so that's Marq Quen from Private Party, The Butcher, and The Blade with the Bunny at ringside. This was the usual opening match, the opening six-man tag team match where Rey Fenix was getting beaten up in the ring until he makes the hot tag to his teammates and then they finish it. So yeah, but AFO did really well here. I love the Butcher and the Blade, but the star in this match is Marq Quen for sure. This makes me miss Private Party because they were supposed to be like this hot young tag team that would eventually take the titles from the Bucks, or like initially that's how I felt, but it didn't end up panning that way. They lost popularity. They were underused when FTR came and when the other big tag teams came. It's just sad. I hope they don't Jack Evans one of them. So Rey Fenix kept getting beaten up because he didn't go for the tag after he managed to overpower Marq Quen. But eventually he does get the tag, and then the Death Triangle just destroyed everyone. And the finish of the match was Fear Factor by the Lucha Bros, followed by the Black Arrow, and then Pac gets the pin. So after the match, we get a stare down between the House of Black and the Death Triangle, and you know what? AEW really ruined the lights on, lights off for me. Like, during the early days, they overused this so much for all of their acts, like for Cody and for the Dark Order, that it's just like bad now. Every time they do it, I cringe. So, yeah, bad post-match segment, but the match was all right. So I guess we get Death Triangle versus House of Black then. But you know what would be cool? If Julia Hart helped House of Black, like Julia Hart in her new outfit helped House of Black win in Double or Nothing, and have it be unsettling like last week's segment when she almost hit Griff Garrison. Because yeah, they have drawn this out too much now, and it has to be spectacular for it to be forgiven. Okay, so next. So the next match is Shawn Spears versus Bear Boulder. And you know what? This is how you do a squash match between a smaller wrestler and a bigger wrestler. Because Shawn Spears is a veteran. He's also presumably smarter than most of the wrestlers in the locker room, and he has no problems with cheating. And yeah, you know what? Shawn Spears actually wrestled as the underdog. Like before he cheated by poking Bear Boulder's eyes and just like accidentally getting him in that position. Shawn Spears totally lucked out. It was due to Bear Boulder, like for some reason, removing his like wrist strap that got him the opening to like poke his eyes and then get him in the C4 and pin him 1, 2, 3. So the match wasn't good per se, but it sets up the match with Wardlow. It builds Shawn Spears up. It moves the chains, but that post-match segment was pretty lame, though. I didn't enjoy it. Chair shots have been ruined. And yeah, that was pretty much this match and segment. Next, we get a backstage interview. So Lexi's heading up this one with Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Neese. And Smart Mark Sterling, still hurt from the attack from Wardlow, complains about this. He says he's not a wrestler, but he did put his hands on Wardlow, so he deserved it. And Neese just like ignores this. He talks about how he destroyed Danhausen on Dynamite. But you know what? Tony Neese is better at promos now. He was pretty bad in the WWE. I'm glad that he's much better now. And Lexi is like the same height as both of them. She should like split to make them look taller. Fuck. But yeah, Smart Mark Sterling as entertaining as ever. Tony Neese better at promos now. And we'll see how these stories interact, but my guess is they don't. They won't. Next is the Owen Tournament first round match between Riho and Ruby Soho. I guess Riho doesn't like some punk music because she was uncomfortable the entire time during Ruby's entrance with her hands on her ears at some point. Nice character work here by Riho, showing us that not all babyfaces can get along or like agree on everything. And I wonder what her reaction will be if like I let her listen to Rammstein or something. Du hast. Or what if she faces a House of Black Julia Hart with the House of Black music? That would drive her insane. For the match itself, this was a good match that is hampered by poor crowd reaction. But there's one lady in the crowd who's like carrying the entire crowd throughout the match, and she should be given an award. The match maintained a moderate pace throughout the entire thing. There was no plodding or lying down a lot, which I like very much. And again, like I say in every video, I like it when the wrestler sells even while on offense. I like it that Riho and Yuka like feel so unique compared to the rest of them, being as small as they are and being Joshis as well. Shida feels more conventional, but yeah, Riho here did a variation on the single leg crab in where she does a bridge. Nice touch, but my one complaint of the match, there were no botches, but there were just moments where they were waiting for each other's moves or they were a little bit too cautious and the move looked like it was in slow motion. But if you're not looking to call out wrestling as fake, you won't mind these moments. So the finish is a Saito suplex that leads to the Blade Runner for the 3 count. They show respect to each other and then raise each other's hands. This is the best match plus post-match combo that we'll get the entire night. This is probably my match of the night, and you'll find out why later. So after this, we get segment of the night with the Assboys and Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed. These guys are pretty much babyfaces now to me, and I hope they are going forward. Austin Gunn and Max Caster stepped up in this segment over here, but the true star was Billy Gunn. My god. So basically, all of these guys were trying to think of ideas for their new faction, and they are a faction now. The Assboys, specifically Austin Gunn, super funny here, saying daddy all the time, proposed some of the DX stuff, like the crotch chop and the suck it, and Billy just swatted these down, saying that they won't get over with these. While for Max Caster, he just plugged in things that they already did, and basically the start of their Acclaimed entrance. So the scissoring and the listen, which Billy just loved. And then he announces that with all his pull and all his influence, he got them a match on Elevation. Great stuff here, really funny. These guys are getting over with just backstage segments, and I love it. The Assboys are finally gonna break through, and I hope that Tony doesn't fuck this up like he does the end of the show. I hope like no one turns on each other. Ooh, foreshadowing. So next. The next segment is an in-ring promo by Jade Cargil, so mostly her, with a comedy bit by Mark Sterling thrown in there. But this was basically Jade addressing the Shida situation, which I think is a work. When Shida comes back from Japan, I definitely think there's going to be a match between these two where she puts over and makes Jade look really good. The faction lobbies for a bye in the Owen tournament for Red Velvet, but then we get the announcement and an appearance of someone who we already knew, Chris Stadlater, and she just stands there on stage saying nothing as usual. It would have been nice to get some words from Stadlater here, but I guess we'll have to wait for that. So, yeah. Pretty average. Jade still needs to work on her promo, but this gimmick here of the baddie section is doing wonders for her. I just wish that people don't compare this to Team Bad back in the WWE because that was just like terrible. Like before the Women's Revolution, that was garbage right there. So Jade Cargill needs to work on her promos. Baddie section is doing wonders. Mark Sterling is funny as usual, and Chris Statlater needs to talk finally. So after this, we get a pre-match promo battle between Scorpio Sky with Men of the Year behind him and Frankie Kazarian, with Mark Henry doing the mediation. He's the interviewer. It's basically Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky are the face competitors, while the bad influence friends, the devils on Scorpio's back, are the men of the year. He tells them to take the night off so he can have a clean match with his friend and former SCU mate, Frankie Kazarian. But it doesn't end that way, but if we don't factor in the match and the end, the post-match segment, this was actually really good. Scorpio Sky is intense. Frankie is kind of losing it in his promo skills. But this does the job. This gets the fans excited for the match to come. And also, Mark Henry has this catchphrase now, like saying the main event and stuff. Yeah, good stuff here. And for the main event, Scorpio Sky, the TNT champion, versus Frankie Kazarian for the TNT championship. And it's kind of sad that the crowd went mild for both of these guys' entrances. I can't remember Frankie having an impact on AEW TV for a long time now. He just came back for this rivalry with Sky. And then as for Sky, people aren't sure if he's a face or a heel yet, so poor reactions here. Very sad, but when the match starts, they do react because Frankie still has it, and Sky is, like, a good wrestler. And Chris Jericho, actually, throughout the entire show, not only this match, amazing commentary, amazing color. He plugs his crews in the middle of this match, and yeah, such an asset Chris Jericho is. Versatile, multi-role. Sign him, please. Don't let him go back to the WWE. So the story of the match is these two know each other, they have each other scouted, and they anticipate each other's moves, so we clearly see this in the match. There was one spot where they just collided with each other and they just both fell down. It was nice. I think I've never enjoyed a regular match between two regular types. If you play TEW, these guys are like regular types, right? And yeah, Frankie and Scorp are such good workers. So after that collision spot, the crowd started getting louder. These guys barely do any jumping or any technical moves on the ground. They just keep it standing and they gain reactions. This was so good. So when Scorp finally does an outside dive, the reactions get louder. And then we get picture in picture, and these American commercials are much better than ours here. That's why I stopped watching TVs. I just couldn't stand the commercials here where I'm from. But these American commercials in picture entertain me so much, like compared to some of the downtimes in poorer matches. Next, we get the spot of the match where Frankie does an asser on Scorp while Scorp is on the ropes. He tries to do this again, but he misses this time, and I like how commentary pointed this out. What could have been spot of the match, though, is this thing where Frankie launches Scorp by pulling on the top rope with Scorp holding it. He launches him up, and then he goes for a cutter. If he only hit this cutter, if Scorp's head only hit the floor, or like appeared to hit the floor, instead of like hitting Frankie, this would have been easily the spot of the match. But no, it like kind of failed, and just launching someone while they're holding the ropes by like pulling on it is a silly spot. And then for the stupid finish, the sports entertainment finish we get here, that we only see in the likes of the WWE. Frankie has Scorp in the chicken wing, like he has this on. Scorp tries to do everything to escape. Frankie gets him on his knees, and then Scorp fades out, but Dan Lambert comes in. He distracts the ref, preventing him from calling the TKO. This is followed by Ethan Page with the belt, who hits Scorp in presumably the back of the neck, but this one hits his traps and knocks him out. This wasn't convincing here. So this breaks the hold, and then Sky unknowingly pins Frankie. Frankie kicks out. But then Sky somehow, after being put to sleep, does his finisher, which is also called the TKO. So the fireman's carry cutter, which ends the match for the 3 count, and Scorp retains. Now, if it just ended here where Scorp unknowingly cheated and then he doesn't know why. He gets mad at his boys when Frankie confronts him about this and then hints at a face turn, finally, or like completes the face turn. This would have been like a really good post match segment, and I would have forgiven the sloppy way they finished the match. But no, they didn't do that. And then Dan Lambert explains that he did it for The Rock, and then Scorp hits Frankie with the title. But wait, there's more. Sammy Guevara comes inside the ring and does the save, presumably doing a face turn, so effectively we get a double turn. So Scorp basically did all of this. He put together a convoluted plan just to beat Frankie Kazarian, who is like below his power level. Oh my god, this was so bad. This was so bad. Tony Khan just dropped the ball with this one so much. This made him look like an idiot. This made everyone look bad except maybe Frankie. Oh my god, I hope they don't go with this because people already can't stand Sammy and Tay. They were starting to like Scorp and like Men of the Year. Even Dan Lambert, actually. People started liking Dan Lambert also, but Tony Khan really wants Sammy Guevara to be a babyface, and this is almost like Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon levels of stubbornness. This was so bad. Oh my god, this was a Rampage that was pretty average, if you ask me. That was ruined by this god-awful post-match segment. It could have had a great main event if Scorp just won clean and then he like turned face. But no, they had to go this route. What are you doing, Tony Khan? Do you want AEW to die? People are already shitting on the TNT Championship. They want Miro to come back. They're tired of Sammy Guevara. Let him do something else. You had to do this. Yeah, this just ends the show on a bad note. I'm in a bad mood right now, so like, comment, and subscribe for engagement, and hit that bell notification for updates on future videos. Oh my god, I hope next week the Dynamite and Rampage combo is better. We just can't get like two good AEW shows in the same week. In like, from what I remember, last week Dynamite was shit, Rampage was good, but it drawed poorly. While this week, it's the opposite. Rampage is trash and should get lower ratings than last week. God damn it. Tony Khan, you ruined the TNT title and Sammy Guevara and Men of the Year. Just give us something different already. Come on, please. Bye-bye.